Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am currently in the bedroom, as you can tell, and today's video, we're having a slight change from all the home renovation videos because we're almost done now. We're on the home stretch. We've got another 2-ish weeks to go, I think. So today I thought I would do a fashion video because I know lots of you have been missing those. So the topic of conversation for today is these bad boys behind me, my wardrobes, or essentially my wardrobe, because it is all of the items within my wardrobe that I'm going to be talking about today. So if you've been following along with some of the home renovations that we've been doing, you'll have seen that we've kind of had a bit of a rejiggery of space from room to room. Now, one of the biggest changes, although it might not seem like a big change to you guys, it was very much a large adjustment for me, was that all of my clothes have now gone into these two wardrobes behind me. Whereas before we started this renovation, I had clothes in the next bedroom, in the spare room, in Simon's wardrobe as well. I literally had them pretty much all over the house. But I decided to minimise my wardrobe, and I decided to do that for a few different reasons. First of all, just because Simon has never really had his own wardrobe whilst living with moi, so I figured it was time to give him his own space. So now all of his things are next door in that guest room. Second reason was that I just figured that I had a lot of stuff. Now I know that I've changed massively my habits and my ways over the last, say, 4, maybe 5 years, definitely since turning 30, and I've been a lot more conscious about what brands I'm buying, how much I'm buying, what I'm buying secondhand, because I buy a lot more secondhand now. And this is just basically the next stage of that journey. I'm just reducing as much as possible and just trying to be a better consumer. Now, by no means would I say that I am an ethical or sustainable angel, and I'm not here to preach to you guys about how you should constantly be buying less, you should never treat yourself to new things. That's not something I will be doing. I will still buy myself new things, but I'm just gonna continue this journey of trying to be better and more conscious. I think that is kind of what it all comes down to, just thinking a little bit more about what we're all buying. And of course, it's individual to the person. Every single person is different. We're all going to have different habits in different ways. I am simply documenting and sharing with you guys the ways in which I am changing and adapting and trying to be better, and essentially sharing how I'm getting on with this new process. So without further ado, let's have a look inside my wardrobe. Right, so we are currently going into the first half of my wardrobe. This half, as you can see, is predominantly coats and then accessories. So accessories are a huge part of how I dress. Because my style is very basic, I just think that accessories are so important because they can really amp up a basic outfit. So even if, like me, you don't really wear a lot of colour, you wear a lot of neutrals, a lot of darks and blacks, then accessories can help add a bit of colour, although you probably won't see any colour in my accessories either, but they at least add a little touch of interest. Now, I'm gonna just scoot, that was more of a slide, wasn't it, out of the way so that we can have a look at this half of my wardrobe. Now, the majority of these shelves are filled with my bags, which we'll go on to in a minute, but I just want to talk about this shelf here, the middle shelf, which is home to my rather extensive jewellery collection. Now, these trays aren't completely full, but I would say that I have around about 200 pieces, and I'd say 90% of those 200 pieces are MISSOMA, and that will come as no surprise to you guys because, of course, as you all know, MISSOMA is one of my favourite jewellery brands. More often than not, I'll always be wearing MISSOMA on a daily basis because I just find that it's super wearable jewellery. I find that it's hard wearing. I don't find that it tarnishes super quickly like a lot of other brands, and I just find it really easy and cohesive to kind of mix and match all of their different pieces together. So I kind of have endless options because I have so much in my collection. There's always a different way that you can mix and match the pieces, whether you're swapping the pendants or just wearing 2 different bracelets together or layering your necklaces in a different way. The options are endless. Now, as I mentioned earlier, jewellery is probably one of the best ways that I find personally of giving a little something to an otherwise really basic outfit. So at the moment, MISSOMA have got a new collection out. It's called the Twisted collection. You might have heard me talking about this before. I'm actually wearing some of the pieces now. This is the bracelet, the slightly smaller chain these pieces are, and the smaller chain necklace as well. But they do, I've showed you guys this before, but I'm going to show you again because it's my absolute fave piece in my entire collection, have this super chunky chain. And I think I mentioned before in another video about looking forward to summer and wearing this with a basic white t-shirt or a white vest and literally just this necklace. And the difference between those two outfits before adding this necklace, honestly, jewellery, it's the way. Now, the thing that I love most about this collection, this is one thing that I really cherish about MISSOMA, is that they've gone to so much detail in designing this chain. No one else will have this design of chain because it's been designed in-house. So unlike the majority of other jewellery brands, they tend to buy in their chains. This is completely unique and you will only find it at MISSOMA. Woo! Now, of course, I've been talking about how I've minimised my wardrobe, and I haven't actually needed to cut out any of my jewellery. And I think jewellery is such a good add-on to an outfit as an accessory because it doesn't take up a great deal of space. So I have obviously these 7 trays here. They're really, really good, really useful for storing your jewellery. You can fit loads in, and that is literally the amount of space that they take up. So this is kind of, accessories are really a big mantra of mine for 2020 going forward with my style and how I'm styling up my outfits. Now, staying with accessories but moving on to bags. Now, I did have a mini handbag clear out because I did find that I was getting a little bit tight for space, and I just don't like that. So I did get all my handbags out and have a full assessment day of how often I wear them, like when was the last time that I wore that handbag? What does it go with in my wardrobe? If it was like, I mean, it's very unlike me that I would have a crazy colour handbag like bright pink, but if I did, I didn't. I would look at it and be like, does this actually go with anything? So I'm now on a very, very strict 1 in, 1 out policy. Now, coats. I'm going to scoot back over here because if any of you have seen my Instagram and if you had the time to scroll through and count how many coats I had in excess of 40 coats. It got ridiculous. They needed a cull. I had too many. I can admit when I'm wrong. I had too many coats. There needed to be a cull of coats. So again, similarly to what I did with the handbags, I got them all out. I put them all on a rail and I tried them on one by one, and I assessed whether I absolutely love the coat and cannot live my life without it, like more than air. Did I need that coat? Again, does it go with the rest of my wardrobe, or do I struggle to mix it with things? I think we've all got some of those items in our wardrobe that we really struggle to match with other pieces. Those are the items which you just have to let go because it's not worth the headache. So that's essentially what I did. Now, this is still an excessive amount of coats. I haven't actually counted these, but I'd say there's around about 20 there. So I have halved my collection, and my coats were actually something which used to be kept in the spare room. So if you guys watched when we did the makeover of this wardrobe, like the physical painting makeover of this wardrobe, we actually chose to have 2 rails put in here so that I could have this all for my denim and trousers. And just when we were doing Simon's wardrobe and I knew that everything of mine was going to go in here, we knew we had to take out that extra rail so that I could have my coats in here. And actually, I really enjoy, this is one other bonus of having everything all in one space. I enjoy just having everything all in one space because when I'm putting my outfits together, it just makes it so easy to have everything visually in front of you. Right, now moving into the other side of my wardrobe, and this is probably where you will see the biggest change in terms of reduction of categories, my jeans and trousers being the main one that I have culled the most. So as I was just mentioning in the other side of my wardrobes, I had filled that with 2 rails worth of denim and trousers, and now we just have half a rail in this side with denim and trousers. And that for me is quite an achievement, let me tell you, because I know there's going to be some of you whose eyes have immediately gone to my new bendy rail, which by the way I'm sorting out at the weekend. But a lot of you will have gone, that chick is not living minimally. Well, trust me, this for me is minimal, okay? This for me is a vast improvement on what I was living with beforehand. So over here I have my blazers, and then just at the end here 3 jackets or short coats, whatever you want to call them. But this here is my plethora of blazers, and this will change very, very slightly. I'll introduce some of my summer blazers into this mix when I do the wardrobe swap over, but blazers obviously are something which I wear on an almost daily basis other than when I'm in the house. So that's why I still have a relatively hefty collection of blazers. It's probably one of the staples of my style and what you guys know me best for. I am queen of blazers, self-proclaimed, but yeah, whatever. Now again, I do have some more summer jeans. I have denim shorts, cut-offs and skirts as well, which are currently in storage, so when I do that switcheroo you will see this change ever so slightly. But obviously jeans are a permanent staple within my wardrobe and within my outfits, so you'll always see denim and a large amount, or large-ish amount of denim within my wardrobe, whatever the time of year. Now if we move down to the bottom half, you will see that I have some accessories, because I didn't actually have room to squeeze these scarves next to my coats, because there were a few coats which I couldn't let go of, so I didn't quite have space. But I have popped them down here, so perhaps as I kind of reassess my wardrobe as I go on, maybe eventually they might be able to move into the accessories side of the wardrobe. And then on to the rest of the rail. Now admittedly, there is one category here which is causing the bendy rail, which is where I have remained still a little bit excessive. And that, as you can very clearly see, is knitwear. I have a penchant for knitwear, and I'd say it's an equal obsession of mine as much as blazers are. And it's kind of for good reason, because we work from home, so for 6 months of the year when it's a little bit chilly, I'll be wearing knitwear essentially every single day. So I like to mix it up. But after this season ends, I will probably cull a lot of this knitwear, because it is quite excessive, but I didn't want to cull any of this right now whilst it is still cold. So again, when I do that wardrobe switch over, you can kind of watch me go through that and cull. And then I do have in between, sandwiched in between the scarves and the knitwear, I have a small section where I have silky shirts, kind of like what I have on now, and my basic t-shirts, because I do still use those even in the winter months for layering underneath, as I just said, my knitwear. And yeah, they're just really good sort of basics. Right, now I'm going to very briefly touch on shoes, because I feel like shoes are still part of your wardrobe. They are now very nicely concealed behind these curtains, and yeah, I've had another cull. Surprise, surprise, that's what this video is all about. And as you can now see, especially on these bottom shelves, I have the boots more spaced out so that they can breathe, and everything has room and space and is not crammed and overwhelming. So I essentially just followed the exact same process as with everything else. I went through, if I felt that some things were double ups of others and I didn't necessarily need 2 pairs of the exact same thing, then I got rid of. And again, I do have a little bit of space on the bottom shelf, and of course if you've been watching the home renovation videos, you'll know that I have the shoe cupboard out on the hall there as well. That tends to be for more like Converses and my running trainers and all that kind of thing, and normally all my summer sandals would go in there as well during the summer months. But I do have a little bit of space, so although I have got rid of quite a few pairs of shoes and boots, I do have a few shoes and boots which I had as high street items, which I found were really good staples. So let me just, for as an example, These shoes up here, which are my Jimmy Choo court shoes, they are my favourite shoes. I actually would like to get these in black, either suede or leather, because I had a pair of high street ones which were black leather, and they weren't as comfortable as what these are. So this is an investment of mine which I would like to make again, just in a darker colour of shoe, because I've worn these so much. These are almost a bit knackered now. But yeah, there are a few sort of bits and bobs that are on my list which I need to save up a bit of money for, to kind of invest back into a very basic but also quite classic wearable. You can wear everything. That's the whole point of my wardrobe, is that you can mix and match everything and you're never stuck for something to wear. So that's one of the pros of having a very neutral and also a dark based wardrobe. Right, so there we go guys, you have now had the full tour within my newly minimised wardrobes. I wonder how many of you have bets on how long I can keep it this way. I know Simon has, so he will definitely take your bet. Thank you very much for tuning in today and watching this video. I will be back on Wednesday. It is a vlog. It is renovation based, but I promise if you're getting sick of them, they will come to an end very, very soon, and we will keep up the fashion videos and the fashion posts on Instagram from here on out. That's it from me. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys on Wednesday.